Committee Room 30.
Okay, just to remind members that we are being broadcast online and throughout Parliament buildings, and to welcome those in the gallery and who are watching online. So if you can ensure your mobile phones are muted, and we'll just proceed with the agenda. So we have apologies or a notice that Claire is possibly not going to join because she's unwell at the minute, and we're just waiting for Sinead, but I think we'll just proceed. Any declarations of interest to declare? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, so just in terms of Chairperson's business, just a small piece. I sponsored the Brave Belfast Killeen event last night in the Lawn Gallery. It was a youth-led programme between Footprints Women's Centre in West Belfast and NSPCC around end of violence against women and girls. So I provided details to the clerk around the project. Very much fits with the grassroots delivery of the strategic framework, so we might potentially be able to get them here in the future. So just moving on then, draft minutes then. So pages 7 to 12 of your pack. If are members content that these are a true reflection of the meeting?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and sign them. In terms of matters arising, the clerk has provided a timeline of the historical institutional abuse and truth recovery process for your use. I think we're conscious that there's the sort of 3 strands of that piece of work at the minute, so it's just really to note at this stage. Moving on then, the update on the inquiry into gaps in equality legislation. So on page 19 of your pack, there's a submission from the Equality Commission, and that was really in terms of that query I had asked about lower age discrimination, which was obviously very helpful. So I wrote back to thank them for that. Forward work programme then, on page 23 of your pack, we're going to like to have your agreement to move the briefing from the Ulster Human Rights Watch from the 26th of February to the 19th of February, and to invite Decorum NI on that date as well. What else have we got on that day, Clark, please? Was it legacy or victims and survivors strategy?
Yes, it's So it's the victim survivor strategy from the department.
So it's in that space.
Yeah, the Independent Commission for the Location of Victims' Remains has politely declined.
Okay.
So,
well,
they've sent a written briefing, which will be in next week's pack.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so are people content then? Will we invite them?
Chair? Yeah, sorry, Chair.
Go ahead, Carol.
Chair, it's just under correspondence. It's the PSNI Senior Responsible Officers regarding historic childhood abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone come back yet to confirm that?
No.
No,
I mean, I've just seen the correspondence in the pack.
Yeah.
It's just to say that we'd asked if there was one, and if so, who was it? So they've sent back that there is one. So would members like to invite that individual to?
So I think it would be good in keeping with what we're trying to do. Obviously, if there's live investigations going on, we need to be respectful, but they can't talk in the general. And I just found it was helpful in terms of the neurology APG, in terms of the Dr. Michael Watt scandal, that when a senior SRO from the PSNI was appointed, the victims and survivors of his treatment felt that they were being acknowledged. So it's really helpful. If we could invite them here. Okay,
thank you. Timothy, were you indicating to come in?
Yes, Chair, I can't find my hand up function, but I'm sure I'll get it before the end of the meeting. It was regarding the 12th of February, so next week. Last week I had asked about splitting the Christian Institute and the Women's Rights Network into 2 panels. Can we just get an update of how long, is it going to be 1 panel, or is it split over 2 panels? And if it's split over 2 panels, how long? Bearing in mind we have dedicated 2.5 hours to training today. I don't think it's too much to ask that both of these groups are given sufficient time to speak to the committee next week.
Okay, just for the bring the clerk in. So I think we agreed last week that it would be 45 minutes each.
Yes.
And I also indicated last week that the Christian Institute were at the stakeholder event in December, and they also submitted a written briefing submission to our committee inquiry. So I'm not sure how much more they've got to add. Really looking forward to them coming, but I think 45 minutes would be sufficient.
No, I'm happy enough with 45 minutes. I don't think we set a time last week. but I'm glad both of them have been separated. It's 45 minutes each.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Is that fine, Clark? Okay, anybody else want to raise any matters under correspondence?
Yes, Chair. Just
Go ahead,
one
please.
item. I see I'm trying to find it here. There was a report from the Executive Office in Brussels.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes.
Of course, the Executive also hosts offices in both the United States of America and in China.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible for us to get reports and/or personnel to come and speak to the committee just about the operational work that is going on? Particularly interested in China with the current political situation there, but and how we're relating to all of that.
Yes. I think they were here last June,
Okay,
but I
so
think
it's maybe
well, the forward work
an
programme.
annual or a yearly
yeah,
update would be. We're coming up to that time.
But we could ask for the written briefing at this stage because it's
Okay.
a year on from restoration.
Yes.
So maybe just to see where they're at, and then we'll decide whether what way we take that forward.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
I'd support that request. I think it's important. Those international relations. I'm always keen that we give time to that. I see we received a report on national museums, NI. So I just wanted to check. I'm happy to receive the report. So why are we receiving that at this committee? I think they're under communities, aren't they? As their responsibility.
It's my understanding that because there are some issues to do with. There are some. Presentations and exhibitions to do with legacy and conflict, that kind of thing. So that's why we would have been copied in. But you're right, it'll be led by communities.
So they may ask us if we want to feed into them for their overall consultation.
Right, but TEO doesn't have any direct role, does it?
Not with museums, NI. No,
Yeah,
not unless they're sponsoring some exhibition through community relations funding or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just one other item I want to raise. So there's correspondence from the Committee for Finance on the 2025-26 budget. So we have requested, the clerk has requested a budget briefing, and so that will come in report form, and then we'll decide whether we want then to bring them to committee to talk to that. Did you have something else?
Chair, I think it was just to follow up on the museums aspect. Well, I appreciate that their funding comes from communities and that there may be small elements from TEO in terms of good relations and things like that. But nevertheless, I think if they are going to, and they've certainly done a number of exhibitions on the Troubles, but if they're going to do other exhibitions, it might be useful just to know, particularly in relation to victims and survivors issues and things like that.
We as a party can respond to the consultation. Yeah, but we'll pick that up. Okay, so any other business before we go into our training session? No. Okay, thank you. So I think we can go into closed session. Okay, thank you.
I think it's technically.
Committee Room 30, Sound.